He must be back from camping then, and while he was away, the whole world had a go at Germany. Hello, Supreme Commanders! How are you doing? Yes! Gather round, pull up a chair, he is back indeed. Have been away camping with my better half, had a fantastic time this weekend. It is, however, now Monday, and I come back, had a few games to review, picked out the best one right here and now for you. And that is the entire world having a stab at Germany. In fact, most of the players belonging to the 5 countries, UK, America, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, I had to wrap my brain there, known as the Five Eyes. And so while we continue with the setup there, a little shout out to the patrons. By the way, they have paid to allow me to license some additional music for the channel, and we're going to be giving that a little whirl today. So if you really like that, do let us know. If you don't, let us know too. Teams on display there. I'm aware that not everybody on Team 1 is from a Five Eyes country. I'm aware probably not everybody on Team 2 is from the German country. But you know what? Five Eyes versus Germany has that nice ring to it. And yeah, we'll carry on in a minute. It's, as you see there, very closely, 1468, just a few points separating the two teams. It's, what's that? 32 points separating the teams. Well, that's very, very tight when you split it between 6 players, and I think that's long enough. And so if you're ready, let's hit that activation and start gating ourselves on into the game, and we'll welcome these players momentarily. Let's make that disappear. There we go. And yeah, so I'm not going to put on the Supreme Commander music, not going to put on the Forge Alliance music. I'm going to try some of this music that we've licensed. So if you do like it, let us know. If you can't stand it, let us know, and I will work accordingly. So nice and quiet. Let's make it a start. All right, let's unpause the game and start introducing these guys. There's going to be quite a lot to introduce. It is a 6 versus 6. And so let's make a start. So I'll slow team down, or time down, as we introduce Team 1. And so Team 1, by the way, these guys up here we will refer to as the Five Eyes team. And yeah, isn't it a little bit weird that all the flags have red, white, and blue? And you may say, well, Russia's not part of Five Eyes, and they've got red, white, and blue. They do indeed, and they're still a very powerful country, right? The big exception I see to this rule is, of course, the Germans, and they're red. What are they? Red, yellow, and black on their flags. So yeah, is there something to it? I don't know, man. But they're not part of Five Eyes, so anyway, let's carry on. Otherwise, YouTube's going to think, hang on a minute, is he making a video on Forged Lines here, or is this about some geographical, political kind of intel? I don't know. All right, in first spot here, some people like the chit-chat, some can't stand it, so I best give them a chat to jump to this point in 3, 2, and so, yeah, that's the secret to life. All right, so Mythologist here, the first player as we're introducing here for the Five Eyes team. He's going Cybran. He's 1400 and starting first land there in Cybran, as we've said, as the orange. Further forward to one of the 2 mid slots then is Love Me Some Rice. Burgundy red 1600 going as the old UEF. And I'm going to start cooking if I... excuse me one moment. Don't turn the fan on. And there we go. Fan now on. Hopefully the background noise won't bother us too much. Moving a little further north here is Pez Duck, or Pez DUK. He's 1300 going as the Seraphim. In dark blue, he's going first land as well. It's got a very Russian looking name, but with UK on the end. Who am I to argue? And then the last from the front line of Team 1, or the Five Eyes, is Luca. This guy 1900 as Cybran in white, going first land, the highest rated player for his team. Moving to the back in lilac, the 2 rear slots, is Heads Hunter. He's 1100, going as first air for the Cybran. And last but not least for Team 1, yet another Cybran here in grey is Korobin. He's 1500. Taking one of the air slots as well, going first land. And so we'll switch over to the lower east side then as we introduce the first on the German side. It's the wobbly connection himself. Vacal Contact, a 1400, yet another Cybran. This guy in that sort of khaki, tealy kind of a colour, going first land as well. We'll move in the similar sort of style as we did up top. Our first Aeon of the day. It's Oeman der Ritter, Oeman der Reiter. I think Rider or anyway. He's a 1500 as Cyan in the as the Aeon there. Going first land. We'll continue moving on now in Sky Blue. Another Aeon is 1200 rated WZDS. I don't know, is that the WASD keys in Russia? Who knows? Or in German, indeed. I don't know. Either way, he's going first land. Also for the Aeons there. And then as we round this off, we've got Ice over here. Often likes the deep purple colour. It's I've seen and reviewed many more games featuring this guy here. He's an 1800 going as Cybran. And he often does like the deeper purple, going first and second land. And then as we round off with the last two players for the game, it's Kaiser Wilhelm I. It's the Emperor for Germany at 1600. For the UEF in the Ferrari there, going first land. And then the last player here in this horrible bogey kind of a brown is Ched. He's 1300 there, and that rounds things off, going first land. And that rounds off not just the team for Germany, but the entire game. And so we are looking at the old Neuroxis version 1.9. It is, as we see, technically a 20 by 20. Whoa, let's get rid of that one. That was one of the old ones. Let's see if I can measure it. It does look a lot less than 15. And there we see why. That's because it is around 12 to 13. It could be 12.5. Difficult to say, but it's somewhere in that ballpark. And so, yes. Let's get things back up to pace. That's always you slow time down a little bit to introduce a lot of players, and by the time you've finished, I always try to time it for when the first shots are fired, which not too far away. Here we go. One shot, one kill. It is one shot, one kill. So what happened the other day where the Cybran commander needed 2 shots to kill the Aeon flares? Has that always been a thing? Somebody let us know. There we see Ritter very clearly getting 1 shot per kill versus the old Love Me Some Rice. Vacal Contact feeding a couple of scouts through. Let's see what he can see. And no doubt wants to know, is this an engineer or not? And if it is, let's get the kill in. Notice he's very careful not to get too close. Doesn't want the commander to pick him off if it is a commander. And there's the clue. If not seeing the engineer, sees the tyre treads that it leaves. And I'm not sure if those tyre treads are viewable when you don't see the original unit, but I suspect Vacal Contact thinks it is, and that's why he's made the move. Is he going to get a second engineer? He's going to try, and he does. Nice pickup there. 2 engineers for the 2 early light assault bots there from Vacal. Advantage, incidentally, going to the team up top. They're the ones with the 32 additional points, which, again, when you divide that by 6, works out around 5 or 6 points per play, which is basically nothing, right? You lose or gain that much every single game. Vacal threading a couple more units through here. Is he going to get them? Does the other team even know? Well, they do know that they're there. Mythologist is the one that puts down the ping. Vacal Contact, perhaps attention elsewhere. Does now come back. Go on, man. Move in. Move in. No. And a slight lost opportunity there. Checking up here. There's Peas, or Peas DUK, making his move. Those of you that seen Top Boy will know those guy Peas. Gonna make me some peas. They're talking about money. I've never described money as peas and peas as money, and someone say, yeah, that's because you're outside the M25. Yes, I am. M25, for those that don't know, is a very big motorway that encompasses entire London and entire Greater London. There's often a little bit of a rift in the UK between those from within and those from without. He's going for his gun in any case, having shooed away the army there belonging to Ice. Ice still bare. I guess feeling he doesn't quite have the eco yet to get his upgrade going. And he's got just enough units here together with these engineers to secure this area. Just one Mantis remain. And that there is going to be a hold for Ice. Ice, who is against a second commander here, Luca. And Luca, the highest rated commander in the game. Ice being the second highest rated, but it does seem a little 2v1-ish in this area. Gonna go with Wizards, WZDS, Wizard either way. He needs to push up a little bit here. He's leaving Ice's flank wide open, and Ice has got enough cut out for him on this 1v1 here with the highest ranked player in the game. Mythologist going for a little raid with the gunship. Picks off a few. I see Vacal Contact very aggressive down here, pushing Mythologist all the way back. And don't forget the mirror on this one is from the lower west side up into the top eastern corner. And so quite rightfully, this here would be the halfway line. And Vacal Contact pushing way beyond. And again, some nice teamwork here from the Five Eyes Nations, working together. This time going against Vacal Contact. Mythologist trying to wall this particular area off. Vacal Contact there with his commander is still bare. There's quite a lot of units here from the Five Eyes. This is forcing Ritter to redirect a few of his units across. No doubt in response to some online communications between these Germans. I suspect they play online. I see a lot of games. I've reviewed an awful lot of games with these guys. We've featured one or two on the channel before. And the way they play as a team, I can only assume they're sat in a Skype or a Discord somewhere. And zooming in here, Vacal Contact finds himself surrounded. Things going down. Oh. And then Ritter rolls onto the scene with a bunch of Auroras. Well, if there was any pressure, that is now gone. And Vacal Contact, I don't know whether this is good or not, but I'd have liked to have seen him get one, if not two more kills. That would have ensured he got his first rank of vet and the bonuses with it. And so I like what Ritter did. It was a nice secure, but Ice now having got the gun with Peas, who's got the gun one-on-one. But yeah, here's the problem. Luca coming in. Luca's got the gun and all, and units of his own. And suddenly Ice is in a 2 versus 1 situation. Kill him, he's dead, says Love Me Some Rice. And I'm not entirely sure if they refer here to Ice or if they're referring to Vacal Contact, but I suspect Ice. Ice now with gunships on him. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. And bang, good night. The Germans lose their strongest player there as Ice bows out inside the 9th minute. Technically done so by Luca, although it was a very much 3 versus 1 situation, especially if you count those Tech 2 gunships. What was his base gets handed off to Kaiser, the Willem I. And with it, the average rating points from the German team drop even further. Not all over though. These guys know how to play as a team, if anybody does. Wizard moving across to cover the new exposed flank. And again, this 50-way mark here. Five Eyes currently pushing right on through. A bunch of spam here from Luca, and that's going to take off the last remaining structure there from the German team from this area. And they're now continuing to lose mexes that were in the central regions under their control. They're now collapsing thanks to Peas. Backle Contact's got himself the stealth. Let's have a little look what we got here. Ched's still completely bare, the 1300 Aeon, but perhaps like to see him get something on his commander. If he wants to fight, go gun. If not, get some tech or something else. Ritter here, 2,700 hit points, so he took a beating at some point there. Is now the sniper with the double gun. And also somebody not yet on his first rank of vet is very close though. Mythologist continuing to harass here with these gunships. At the Tech 1 stage, the Jesters. The Cyberns, the only faction that has the Tech 1 gunships. Expensive to do. Costs quite a lot more than the bombers. And they're much slower. Do have a little bit more health though in return. Here you can see versus these interceptors. Taking, I don't want to put an exact time on it, but I would say twice as many shots to kill. Of course, we do have access to the little doodah here to get an exact phase. Fighter bombers having a pop at Wizard's base. But Kaiser, what looks like to be the first player with ASF on the field. 11 minutes, 20 seconds, and he's got 4 of them. We count this one back here. Seen the first couple out now as well from Korobin. So relatively fast move to the ASF. Sometimes you see players tech a little bit more and then go ASF in a bigger way 2 or 3 minutes later. These guys electing to go very fast. Luca pushing down. Together with his pal, Peas. Problem is, there's a decent blocking force here from Wizard, and he's moving in with his commander, who's the sniper, and that is enough to dissuade the Five Eyes from pressing, and they're going to back off a little bit. And yeah, Wizard, as the Aeon, able to reinforce his primary units across the lake there. That's a luxury that Love Me Some Rice does not have. He's got to pick and choose which side. And more air on the line now from Kaiser. Seen a few. How many ASF has Korobin got? 6. Well, I can already tell you that Kaiser's got more. Scouting run here from Korobin to see what's going on. Vaco Contact completing the gun. And Ched did go for some upgrade after all. He's got the sensor. He's going for the chrono. And then that will get all 3 arms on him done. Another probing attack over here, but looks like Wizard is going to lock down for the Germans, creating a big wall there. And if you intend on coming through with Tech 1 spam, this is not the way to come now. Not at all. Vaco Contact continuing over here. He has got his first rank of vet. It's a 3rd on the way to the 2nd. And this is a weird sort of part of the map here, the Neuroxis map gen. It's not entirely locked off, but it makes it awkward. Of course, the plateau is locked off. There's no real advantage to being on there. There's no mass points or anything. Big scouting run now from the other side. Kaiser taking a peek at what the Five Eyes have got. Vaco Contact. I mean, he's got good, he's got stealth. I've just wondered, to the other team... Of course, that's his team. To the other team, no. You see, they don't know. They need to be right on top of him to see him. Mythologist continuing to make a nuisance of himself with these gunships. And far from just creating a wall, looks like Wizard happy to push back a little over here. The old Tech 2 point defense creep. And now we're seeing our first T3 units as well make their way towards the line. Love me some Rice with the Titans. UEF units with a shield. It's not as obvious as some. The Harb, the shield is very much more obvious, the big bubble, but the Titans, they do have one. And you can see when they lose it, they no longer have this electric sort of sheen to them. The shield is very, very quick at recharging. And I don't believe this, Germans are pushing out. Look at this, despite Tech 3 units. Ritter here, the sniper com with shields. Despite not having the greatest health, is a 1-star. But he does have the shields. And when with overcharges to structures like that, he's going to be vetting up very soon. I think he just needs one more kill and he's going to be Tech 2. It's a couple of point defense there from Love Me Some Rice of the Tech 2, the UEF type, and that is enough to put him on. Thing is, we've got Ched here as well now. Ched has got the Chrono Dampener, so this is an interesting mix of units. You've got one with the rate of fire and the damage. You've got the other that's got the range and the ability to stun units. And I suspect, yeah, here we see it, right? Of course, there's not enough units in the area yet to make this extremely apparent. But I love what Ritter's doing here. Kiting the main of his units behind, ensuring he's always got somewhere to back off to. And here we're starting to see this stun gun effect. Perhaps not worth the factory, but let's see it here. There we go. The first units now getting stunned from some of the splash. Tech 3 units going down, and this is a hole that's now wide open. A huge amount of units there getting stunned. Love me some Rice. The 1600 UEF has got no choice but to run away. Throws a few more Titans forward. I mean, they're brave going against these two commanders. Commander say, look at the stun and ability together with the range. Oh, Corsair Snipe coming in. Immediately pings going down as Heads Hunter, the 1100 Cybran, looks for some heads to hunt himself. More pings. He urgently needs the air. Kaiser responds. Start dancing, pal. As Ched, yep, gets to work. And the first real air engage that we've seen all game. Heads has to back off. Kaiser very much in control. As we see here, Ritter continuing to take on Bez, who's just there with the gun. But Ritter's got a lot of supporting units. Ritter is going for some of the Tech 3 and is now being stunned again from Ched. The main supporting units from Ritter are just the Tech 2 stage, the Blazes. You don't want to lose them too long versus the Commander. Now, a lot of sandwiching going on here. And Mythologist, what's he doing? He's getting onto... Alright, Mythologist flying himself in. Nice screen air here from Korobin. Takes out... That was a beautifully synchronized move. And Mythologist now drops himself onto the front line. Ched starts backing off. Ched with just 6,000 hit points. He needs... Oh! Korobin! He's got the Mazer. 18 minutes, 50 seconds. A Mazer com on the line. And the second player from the German team going down. Makes it a 6 versus 4. And Ritter now, if he wants to live, can only do one thing. And that is run. And here we see why. Mythologist is going to microwave anything he sees with his laser, and I'm not sure it's going to get a shot off at him. The only thing really that stands a chance against this is an experimental tackle contact, trying to get a couple of bots in round the back just to cause harassment, but love me some Rice on the case there. And Ritter, yeah, if he knew anything, it was get out of dodge. Mythologist continuing to apply the pressure here to occasionally get a comment about missing something somewhere. That's why I try and have a slightly larger mini-map than you might be used to. 6 versus 6, it is impossible to capture everything that everybody does. Nice air security screen here from the German team for Kaiser, and that's going to make it very difficult, if not impossible, for the Northern team to snipe the two commanders we see here. Luca with another probing attack over here, but I don't think it's going to do anything more than probe. We see Wizard here with the Harbs. Carrying on to work with his point defense. Love me some Rice continuing to pressure. And without these two very deadly commanders in play, who were, they were, let's be honest, the bulk of the force from the German team were those two commanders. Most of the supporting units were just the Tech 1 and Tech 2 stage. Love me some Rice here, been able to sweep all of that aside with his Tech 3 Titans. And yeah, Mythologist decides to back off some. Don't blame him. He's still got the laser. I mean, he can deal with individual units, but he's got to be fearing that some sort of an air snipe might be on the cards, especially when he doesn't have air dominance over his commander. Nice Corsairs over here. How many's he got? 16. That's a lot. That can certainly pick off a commander that's caught somewhere with his pants down. Battle contact over here. I'm not sure if it's enough for a single pass snipe, but certainly 2 passes would get any commander. Short of the most heavily shielded, vetted up combat ready. And even then, 3 should get it. Wizard there with his Harbs, putting more and more pressure onto Pez. And what's this? We've got some TAP missiles coming across the bay. I'm not sure if that was aimed at the engineers or somewhere else and happened to hit. We've got more threading through here, and these are Tech 2 mass extractors going down. Pop. And it would seem that the commander is doing it himself. Love me some Rice. The Tech 2 with assistance. Got the backpack there. That backpack is where the missiles are stored. If you don't see the backpack, you ain't got the missiles. Mobile missile launchers here on the front line from Wizard. Perhaps getting a little too far forward from their covering force. Does have a couple of gunships, but Luca gonna make him pay, I think. Gets the loyalists up front, and they will chew their way through missile launchers very quickly. Wizard realizing his mistake, pulling back towards his line. As well as the Harbs, of course, the Cerberus turrets are coming back over here. Ritter now with a few sniper bots pushing forwards. Now this is a very nice way to deal with individual units trickling through, especially now engineers here trying to reclaim what they can. Speaking of which, well, there's not a great deal on the map. Most of it's been reclaimed. But battle contact now. Spidey bot inside 24 minutes entering Mythologist's base. And I think this is too little too late, getting some Tech 1 point defense up. It's got a couple of bricks, a couple of Cerberus turrets, but what's that? This, however, will cause it to stop. Headhunter absolutely got to stop this Monkey Lord. We already know that Kaiser's going to be getting his Air Force involved. And there is the air fight. The only question is Kaiser going to fight first, then go for the Corsairs? And there's your answer. Yes. Air fight first, Corsairs second. And this is very close. But I think Korobin's got it. And he has. The Germans have lost air supremacy. That right there was your Battle of Britain. Korobin got it. And that together with the Corsairs there is going to potentially be the undoing. See here, GC coming forward as well from Ritter. So yet another experimental. And once again, a little light on anti-air coverage. We've got a solitary flak here. And the Corsairs. Kaiser very quick with another lot of ASF. And Korobin caught napping here. This right here, a little bit of a mistake. I'm surprised this many ASF was allowed to have that much time with the Corsairs. And he realizes it again. Kaiser going in for another hit and run on the Corsairs. And this time he's going to be made to pay. But the GC, still quite a lot on health there. And I suspect the GC would have been dead by now had the Kaiser not gotten involved versus those Corsairs. GC now very low health, not too far off another rank of vets. Best way to do it is versus these mass points. Oh, it's very, very close. Oh, come on, man. This is so close. Unbelievable. Finally goes down. See over here, there's another experimental from Luca. That's been pushing down into the Wizards' main base. And it is now facing an experiment of his own. I think it's time ever so slightly to split the screens. Keeping tabs on these both engagements. We see Mythologist flying himself around the map. He, of course, the commander with the laser ability. Here he comes. Oh, that is so ballsy, man. Down he goes. Mythologist is a 5-star. He picks off at least 2 of the Harbs over here. That both experimentals going down within a few moments of one another. Still a lot of Harbs in the area there from Wizard. They do have some units to deal with, but a lot of this is spam. Wizard wastes no time in getting some point defense online. Nice save there from the Germans. And now with another Monkey Lord coming down from Korobin, I feel that the biggest threat is over. Get this back into position. We see there a large portion of the Five Eyes base taken out, but not entirely. The first nuke out from Luca, and where's it heading? This direction, and he's got one in the clip. No more. Is that where it's going? I think so. Kaiser must have paused production on this as soon as he got one, and there it is. And so there's no missiles left, so I assume, and there he is, look at that, he turns it on. So I've never seen that, a player just build one new missile and then turn it off. It makes sense, it's one ready, but does it really use that much eco? Well, Kaiser Wilhelm I seems to think so. Quick look on the old eco side of things just before we get to minute 29. Mass income totals 1.4 versus 1.3, favouring the Five Eyes team. Those, of course, are rounded off figures. Totally 1.27 million versus 1.16, also favoring the Five Eyes. So about 10% advantage to the team up top. I'm just wondering, does he have his air yet? 73 ASF for Deutschland, and Korobin with 150. Well, it's a 2-to-1 advantage for the Five Eyes, and then you add that Headhunter's got a few more. Can they make it pay? GC over here from Wizard, a second GC. I suspect that they're trying to secure the mass reclaim. Got a nice push up here from Ritter as well with a few T3 bots. I'm not seeing very much to stop this. I do wish I knew which side the pings were coming from, or who does the pings. You do see it from team view. An effective attack over here versus Battle Contact's base. Numerous Tech 3 gunships, I should say. They are the whalers. And the Cybrans, Korobin's pushing. And these whalers having their way so far versus Battle Contact. Does look like he might lose one of them here, and indeed he does. He's going after the SAM sites, but it's going to take quite some time. There's a more SAM sites dotted around the area from Battle Contact. It's going to make it increasingly costly to deal with. I suspect the Five Eyes are going to be most concerned about this. 2 GCs and a few escorting harbs together with some flak unit. What's he got to stop? Well, again, it's mostly spam. We've got a couple of Tech 2, a couple of Tech 3, but not much. Most of the stuff here is from Luca. We've got another Megalith and a bunch of Loyalists. Bouncers. They are, of course, dealing with a GC of their own. And so Wizard now has actually got 4. He's got one here. He's got a couple in the mid. He's got another one here. Headhunter taking no opportunity or no delay there in dealing with some of this, but he does run away, I guess, from the flak. Alex, it's not his fight to fight. Luca with yet another experimental. Come on, man. GC now getting picked off. Of course, this guy was out by his lonesome, was having a lot of success. Looks like a nice concerted effort there from Five Eyes. Loyalists together with the Corsairs. Corsairs now taking a particular dislike to the flak. Of course, their greatest threat. Wizards is threading more through all the time. And Kaiser once again. Beautiful play. Look at him. Picking off some isolated gunships and then backing off before the opposing team could get there. With the majority of their air force, a fight that Kaiser could not win. So now my only question is, are they going to pursue? And the answer is yes. Korobin is continuing. And we're starting to see some Tech 3 artillery out now from the Germans. And that looks like it's raining in on Korobin's air grid. Bang! And it takes out 2 of the factories, as well as an ion reactor. Korobin's going to have to shield that up. We'll take another look over here. This big air fight that we've been seeing. It looks like Kaiser is going to lose. Alright, you need SAMs quick. Kaiser recognizing that he's going to lose. His team also, the opposing team, recognizing they're going to win. And fighting above this flat, the only silver lining. Look how heavily they've been able to damage these ASF. If Korobin knows what's good for him, it's get an air pad online and quick. More experimental wars. The two GCs there together do take out the megalith. But they are still dealing with air here from the Five Eyes, and with very little air of their own. Of course, we've just seen it wipe out. Wizards is trying to trickle some flak units through, but what else is there? RT continues raiding through, and this time it's Headhunter's base that's eaten the main of the RAF. Much of what Corbin's got there has been shielded off. Plus, the Germans in World War II, famous for that very big railway gun that they had. Massive artillery. Had some ridiculous range. Threw shells through the air that were size of cars. Bigger rounds than battleship. I would fire them. Very long range against heavy, well dug in emplacements. Not sure how effective they were, really. You've seen, I'm sure, many of the famous pictures. But right now, I have to say here that Vital Contact looks very strong in this area for much of the game. Now not looking so strong. A Rambo commander here, support commander, taking out the harm system. That will have been dissuading a lot of the stuff from pushing through into Vital Contact space. There's two experimentals here, a third one in support. But we're still seeing this long-range artillery. We've seen two pieces of them now. I've seen the German teams do this a couple of times before. Round about the 30-35 minute mark, they've gone for Tech 3 artillery, and teams that neglect to shield their base, even if they are ahead on air, that's not always possible to maintain. See here, Ritter continuing to push. Two GCs. We do have this chicken up front as well. Who's run back, he's lost this one. Just suppose he doesn't want to fight a 2 versus 1. Love me Sunrise trying to get a fatty online here. It's about 80 to 90% complete. And together with this static Tech 3 shield, I'm almost sure he's going to get it. Quick glance over here. Mostly secure. I'll say secure. About as secure as you might think. Although, no sooner do I say it, 3 GCs from Wizards start weaving their way around. What really concerns me, though, for the Five Eyes, aside from 2 lots of artillery now raining in on their air players' grid, is this. Korobin down here. He's a Tech 3 commander. He's got himself the Raz preset, but he's stood right next to a couple of GCs, and these may choose to stomp him. And at least for now, choose not. Korobin elects to self-detonate, perhaps thinking, I can take some of the spam that's with the GC, either that or, well, perhaps somebody can decrypt. So 2 GCs suddenly pop out the pond. We've got this chicken here that we saw Pez get into position ahead of time. A Mythologist going up against one of them, of course, with the Mazer. Oh, the GCs turn their attention. 400 hit points, man. It doesn't get much closer than that. He had 18,000. Balls of steel. Mythologist, and he saves the day. Both GCs going down. One of the chickens, we see the second chicken there, but I think that would have gone anyway. Got Pez here with his commander, together with the Ion Storm. But a bit of backup did not never hurt nobody. And so with that, it's now a 5 versus 4. Still favouring the Five Eyes. The Germans here making another very nice attack. 2 megaliths and a spider, and right now the megaliths have got targeting on. Mythologist Megalith trying to run away, and he's doing so the wrong way round. Can't get any shots on target. And Vagal Contact knows this is the primary target to deal with. We'll check back very quickly. Just have a little look here. The artillery continuing to rain up there. And we've got the GCs over here continuing to make progress from Wizards. Not as many as we once saw. Megalith there going down for Mythologist. I do like these bricks, able to get a lot of free shots off and pursue the invading army there from Vagal Contact. But I suspect it'll be too little too late. And Mythologist, well, yeah, he decides, no, I'm not going to play this anymore. And suddenly, Luca is left holding 2 bases, although one of them is all but disintegrated. Luca, of course, the highest rated player for Five Eyes. It's probably Russian, but in any case. And he looks like he's got just enough tools in the shed to deal with this particular GC. And perhaps Wizard splitting his GCs off, but Luca now with a nice counter-attack of his own. Together with a chick in there from Pez. And 2 fat boys here from Love Me Some Rice, dealing with the 2 experimentals we saw there from Vagal Contact. The Monkey Lord having gone down, and Vagal Contact very quick to reclaim. Let's have a little look here. Well, look at that. Sick amounts of mass. Vagal Contact can fix his loose connection with it all. Love Me Some Vice. Very, very close to the action here. He's a Tech 2. He's got the tactical missile. But he's danger close, man. And this is a lot of experimentals. Seen the fat boy over here from Five Eyes. We're seeing a shed load of air from Five Eyes. But what they really need now is something with a bit of ground shooting power. Nuke out there from Luca. Where's it going? I thought it may be a defensive nuke, but no. Going across the way. Perhaps looking to blow a hole open. Luca, of course, with 3 megaliths in here. Where is the nuke? It's going back there. Wizard very quickly spreading his defenses, and that took out one of the 4 GCs. A lot of air now. Able to shoot the fat boy that Love Me Some Rice had goes down, but the lead megalith, importantly, goes down as well from Five Eyes' point of view. They still got a few Corsairs in the area, and it looks like their top priority now is the GC. And no surprise, it is the most heavily damaged experimental in the area. 41 minutes. No! Heads Hunter defeated by Kaiser. No doubt eating one of these rounds to the face. But look at this. We've got 4 lots of artillery now. Who knew what it was like to face the wrath of 4 Doro railway guns at the same time? Well, ask Heads Hunter. He knows, he can tell you. But this base here, belonging to Luca, is toast. He is, however, pushing back over here. We'll have to check back on that in a minute. This right now feels like the only hope for Team 1. The Five Eyes, they've got 3 megaliths, they've got a 4th in tow, they've got a bunch of supporting units. Kaiser does have a bunch of strats in the area. I'm surprised we're not seeing some of the air here from Luca make its way across. Perhaps he feels if he does, these strats will only redirect towards his base. Well, it looks like the solution is to redirect half of his air. Bunch of GCs over here from the Germans from Wizards. But the megaliths are getting awful close. I think the pings are going down, and quite rightfully so. We're seeing the German commanders running back to Berlin. Some of these megaliths getting just a little too close for comfort. He's going for the support commanders. I'm not sure if that was manual targeting or not. There are the pings. No doubt from his pal. Five Eyes and their intel agencies saying we got eyes on the target. The nearest megalith, the greatest threat, taken out. 2 remain over here. And there's the 4th that we saw reinforcing. Now the 3rd. Very heavily damaged megalith. Almost got away with it. Then Wizard realizes his mistake. That makes it a 3 versus 2. Before the megaliths bring it back to a 2-all. Still a lot of strat bombers. The only ones that we're hearing are from Kaiser. And a quick look elsewhere. More or less stabilized. Experimental wise, we've got a couple of chickens on a counter attack here from Pez UK. But with 4 lots of artillery raining in, I'm not sure this game can go on for much longer. Luke has absolutely got to take out the artillery pieces and or all of the commanders. Just 1 megalith remains. A few experimentals. The last GC here from Wizard. And I do think it's going to go down, but the problem is a megalith is by itself. The other side's got air, and oh no. Vacal contact just gets a full health megalith onto the line. And that is going to be very difficult. A 1 versus 1 situation for Luca to deal with. It looks like Kaiser already knows it, is redirecting a lot of his air. An annoying attack here from Wizards, just some Spectre gunships. But going around, picking off isolated targets. Shows what kind of priority Luke is giving to that. Megalith together with the chickens here. Eating the Wrath. Kaiser's air. And Kaiser bags himself the megalith. Then he's going to go for the chickens. Hez already knows he's got to split these guys up. Make sure that the splash damage from these bombs don't damage both chickens. Not to mention the Ion Storm. Luca makes landfall here. He's going for Ritter. It's going to be very close. Oh, it's close. It's close. Go on. Go on. Go on. And he's gone. Luca backs off Orman de Ritter in the last moment as what's got to be a mistake or a misclick there. Brings it back to a 3 versus 3. The only one with a real base to speak of is Luca. Pez is not too bad, but yeah. The best days are over for the Five Eyes. And the Germans there with their artillery still largely intact. We've got 1 over here. Another one here. So it's possible one of them got taken out. We're seeing a lot of damage over here. In fact, it was 3 of them. Apologies for missing that there. Kaisers did suffer a lot of damage at some point, somehow. No, don't get some criticism from some for that, but so much been going on. And love me some Rice. What's he doing? Five Eyes player going for a drop. Where's he trying to do it? Big scouting run there from Kaiser. Do the team have any idea he's here? They don't know. They don't see him. And he's got Billy. He's got Billy Nuke. There it goes. Do they know? No, they don't. And there's not one attack missile defense here. There's a scout aircraft there, but I don't think they're going to worry about that. Here it comes. Let's see how long it takes them to realize. There's the ping. Com says Ched. By goodness, his reactions was quick. The com was there. I think it was perhaps referring to this here. Nice. Unfortunately, it needed another Billy, really. Look at the very limited damage that inflicted. Really not that great versus structures, much more effective versus units. I'm sure it used to cause a little more damage than that, but not anymore. Kaiser giving max intel there for his team. Battle Contact having a stab at the old intel as well. Showing the Five Eyes how it's done. Kaiser Willem with a mass strap bomb rush there versus Love Me Some Rice, of course. We saw with the Billy Nuke. Overkill, yes. We've got 47 strats here. It must have been 50 before they went for the commander. Donut was shot down. And Luke are playing like a boss. I mean, look at this. Despite all of what's going on, Luke has found the APM to set this going over here. And so here we go. Kaiser is on a mission. 45. Here we got the count. 35. And that was Luke as one of his main bases there. Gone up. 30 strats remain. Now just 22. And the strats are gone, but so is the majority there of Luca's base. Feels like their main objective was to crack the shields. Allowing a place for the RT to come through. Pez gets taken out, and that really leaves Luca all by his lonesome. So now a 3 versus 1. Just 20 seconds to go till we get to the 50th minute. Battle Contact's going to mop this area up with his gunships. Kaiser once again on a scouting run. I just wonder, Luca, what's he got left? He's got a couple of chickens, a couple of megalith, a couple of escorting T3 units, but really, Wizard says build more spam. Well, that's a very effective way to counter the megalith, if you want to call it counter. Certainly ties up its targeting facilities. We've got bricks making their way through, as well as a megalith here from Battle Contact. An unfinished chicken handed over to Luca a little while ago. And Pez got KIA. The artillery continues to rain in. So many scouts, and I'm just thinking, Luca, what's he gonna do? T3 done. That's got to be on his commander. Let's have a little look. Has he got anything in the plan? Well, he's Tech 3 and he's got the Eco. And I suspect Battle Contact is making a beeline, and indeed he is. I mean, look, the comm is highlighted and I can't see these Tech 3 units going anywhere else. We've got the artillery aiming in, trying to crack the shields. Luke is desperately trying to build more of these shields. This is a player that has not yet given up. He's got support commanders in the area. Yes, there's 2 experimentals bearing down on his commander's position. He's creating more shields. He's got a well-placed megalith there to shoot up this one's behind. Couple of bricks as well, but the megalith is very heavily damaged. The shield's just about holding. One pops off as the other blinks back on. And Luca is bailing. Quick check over here. We've got the experimentals over on the far side, but they're not getting very far thanks to the donut. Can Luca think of anything else? He takes out the leading experimental. The last brick. He's got just 2,000 hit points left. He's desperately trying to get under a shield. Establish a new one there. Artillery rains in. Just falls off the edge of the map. And a Tech 3 shield from Luca blinks on in the nick of time. But this megalith is still over half health. Quick check-in over here. We've got support commanders going up. Have to split this once more. Luca now 3,000 hit points, but with a still half health experimental in his area. Get that out of the way. Full health chicken, a low health chicken. They've torn through Kaiser's base, but it's too little too late. It's over. Ladies and gentlemen, the Germans win. Wouldn't you know it? Well, I had to give them something really After the US, they're the most popular. I say the most popular. The most common subscriber. The UK is actually in 3rd place. Come on, let's recenter the map. Yes! So every once in a while, we got to throw something their way. Not to mention, of course, I'm half German myself. And so yeah. Half English, half German. So, you know. The advantage is when either side wins, it's great. And when either side loses, well, it's not so great. Hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, thank you very much for watching the Patreons. Don't forget, you've got your 4th cast now. The 1 versus 1 specials for the Patreon members only on Discord. Not Discord. What am I talking about? On Patreon. So do make sure you check that out. And until next time, wherever in the world you may be, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. From me here inside the UK, take care. Bye-bye. See ya.